Everyone. So today I'm going to present. So I'm from Eastern Illinois University. It's in the Illinois. So like Carbondale, Jennifer is I think it's like 3 hours from here. And also I have my second author is Shugofa Dastgeer. So she's from Texas Christian University, and she couldn't be here today. So I'm going to present it. So my presentation is about Nepal government's use of Twitter or X for digital engagement with its public. So the purpose of the study is to understand how social media has been used as a tool by the government to talk to the public, or to have a dialogue with the public, or to engage with the public. So there has not been any study. There has been studies done in USA, also in like other countries like in India and Pakistan, which is a neighbor of Nepal, but there has not been any study been done in Nepal about the use of Twitter. And it's something that's Nepal government is also using these days to engage with its public. So I thought it would be interesting to see like how they are using this platform to talk to the public, or to engage with the public. So a little bit of background. So Nepal is a small country. It's in South Asia. It's sandwiched between India and China. So it's a small country. And Nepal has gone through a major political shift in past 2 decades. So they had Maoist insurgency for a few years, and they signed a peace deal in 2006 after a decade-long insurgency. And so Nepal was a monarch, and there was an end of monarch in 2007, and a new constitution was passed in 2015. So now a lot of Nepali, like Nepal, social media is really popular in Nepal, and people use Twitter or X to communicate with the government. They ask questions. If they are unhappy, they use Twitter a lot. And a study or research found that social issues were the mostly tweeted topic by Nepali users, followed by the political issues. So I used the dialogic theory of public relations in this study. The dialogic theory was coined by Dr. Kent and Taylor in 1998, and they have been working on it. And they also added a few things, about like web-based communication. So there are 5 principles of dialogic theory of communication, but I used 3 of these principles because they relate mostly to the web-based communication as well. So this is dialogic loop, the useful of information, and the engagement. So my research questions, the first research question is to what extent the Nepal government account have dialogic loop. That means how often do they communicate, like do engage with the public through comment sections. The second question is, what are the different topics of information the account shares with the followers? And what are the content types? So is it text or is it video? That is content type. And how much do followers actually interact with the post of these accounts? So for this study, the method of quantitative content analysis was used. So it used the accounts of Office of Prime Minister of Nepal and Nepal Police. These are the 2 official accounts. So I use them. So this is a pilot study. So I'm still working on this paper. So the first part I did was I and my colleague, we analyzed all posts from December 25, 2022 to November 30, 2023. So in these 2 accounts, so these were 685 total posts. So I use this date, December 25, 2022, because that's when the Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, he took the office. So this was a time when he was in the office, and it covered almost a year since he was in office. So the first question asked to what extent Nepal government account had dialogic loop in the communication with the followers, and the The content analysis found that there was a 0 dialogic loop. So there's like from none of these account, not even one post had a dialogic loop, or they answered any questions that people had. So there was like no reply to any comments or questions or concerns from the followers. Second research question asked, what are the different topics the information shared with his followers? So the most the topics were announcements were the ones followed by events, high profile people, call for action, and policies. So you can see the call for action is only 6.4%, whereas announcement is 44.5%. Also, it asked about the topics of information. So when I looked at like what are the majority of posts, so the announcement were from the Nepal police account, whereas the majority of posts about event, policies, and people were about from the PMO Nepal account, and a majority of call to action were from Nepal police account. So second, this is question 2B asked, what are the content types? So the text and image were the most, the content types were the majority of the content types, followed by only text and video. So when we looked further through chi-square, most of the text only and text and video content belong to Nepal police account. Most of the text and image content belong to PMO Nepal account. Majority of text only posts were announcement, and most of the text and image posts were events, and most of the text and video posts were announcements. So how much the followers engaged with the content of Nepal government accounts? So the engagement was quite good. So there was an average of 118 likes per post. So for the PMO post, it was 180 per post, and whereas for Nepal police, it was 57. The average number of comments was 15 comments per post. Again, PMO Nepal had more comments, average comments than Nepal police, and average of retweets were 11 per post. So again, the retweets also higher for PMO Nepal account. What is the implication of these findings? So the first thing that was interesting was there was no dialogic loop at all. So most of the information was like a one-way communication. There was no reply to any comments or questions. So the announcement post from the PMO Nepal were mostly for best wishes for holidays and celebration. And event posts were mostly the events that the Prime Minister had attended, such as inaugurations, anniversary celebrations, etc. And people posts for PMO Nepal were mostly diplomats and high-profile individuals who had a visit or talk with the Prime Minister. And policies posts for PMO Nepal were about Prime Minister and what his stand on different issues and policies, rather than asking for audience feedback. So it was more like a one way, like this is what I think, this is what the Prime Minister thinks, then asking people like, what do you think about this issue? What do you think we should have the policies or not? So it was more of like what the Prime Minister thinks. So announcement posts for Nepal police were different events organized by Nepal police, such as award ceremonies and inaugurations. Event posts for Nepal police were mostly on crimes and criminal arrest by law enforcement. And people posts for Nepal police were mostly about achievements of service members in the Nepal police. And policy posts for Nepal police were about different rules and regulations and laws of Nepal regarding different crimes, such as trafficking, money laundering, etc. And call to action ask followers to be vigilant about crimes and report to law enforcement if they suspected or witnessed any criminal activities. So as I said earlier, so it was mostly the study found was mostly one-way communication with the public. Since this is a pilot study, I'm still doing collecting the data. So I want to look now that the Nepal has new prime minister who was inaugurated in July 2024. So I want to see like how it is compared to the prime minister before that period. So see like if there has been any change in the way these accounts communicated with the public through these social media accounts. So that'll be insightful. And also I want to complete the data collection analysis until June, July, until the former prime minister left the office, and have better, more complete data looking at these accounts. Okay, so that's my presentation. Thank you.
Great.